It's always been explained to me as just a fluke, 1 in a million genetic occurrence.
When I was in college, a good friend of mine had a poster on our dorm room wall that proclaimed, "Everything I need to know in life I learned in kindergarten." And the point of the poster, obviously, is that the simplest lessons that we learn in life often turn out to be the most useful and helpful to us throughout our lives.
When we first met, we were playing volleyball together, and he hits the ball off the top of his head to play volleyball. And that is who Craig is. He will try anything and find a way to do it.
Each of you has the ability to define your own potential in this world. What exactly do I mean by that, though? Very often in our lives, we find ourselves in situations where we basically have two choices as to how we can act, how we can respond. We can either allow the circumstances that surround us to define us and control us, or we can take control of those circumstances.
What's difficult for me to do? Nothing.
My advice to all of you is to challenge yourselves every day. Every day, challenge yourself to find some way to take control of your circumstances. Live your life. Don't let your life live you. People often will approach me and express how amazed they are by all that I'm able to do. And although I appreciate the sentiment, it's kind of lost on me because I have never defined myself as a person with a disability. I think everybody faces challenges in their lives, whether they be physical, emotional, or mental challenges. And there are times in all of our lives when the challenges that we face can feel like they are overwhelming. Even Mother Teresa once said, "I know God won't give me anything that I can't handle. I just wish he didn't trust me so much." The man washed up on an uninhabited, deserted island. And every day the man would pray to be rescued, and every day he would survey the horizon looking for any kind of help, any ship, any plane, anything. And every day he would see nothing. Eventually, the man was able to build himself a little hut out of driftwood and palms in order to protect himself from the elements and store his few meager possessions. And one day, while the man was out foraging for food, he came back to find his little hut in flames with smoke rolling up to the sky. And the man was completely devastated. He felt the absolute worst had happened. He curled himself into a fetal position under a palm tree and just sobbed himself to sleep. And the next day, the man awoke to the sound of a ship pulling into the island. And they were there to rescue him. As he was being boarded onto the ship, the weary man asked of his rescuers, "How did you know I was here?" And they replied, "We saw your smoke signal." It's very easy to get discouraged and disheartened when bad things are happening to us and things have caused undue stress. But it's very important that we never lose hope, because opportunity is at work in our lives always, even in the midst of pain and suffering and stress. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there that would think, that being born without arms and legs would be just about the worst thing that could happen to a guy. But I'm here to tell you, after living 38 years in this skin, that if I were tomorrow to meet a magic genie who offered me the opportunity to start my life over again with a fully functioning set of limbs, but the only caveat being that I lose all my memories of this life, without hesitation, I'd say no, thank you. Because it's been me being the way I am that has led me to have some really great, unique life experiences and to meet some really fantastic people that probably wouldn't have happened otherwise. And I wouldn't trade those acquaintances and I wouldn't trade those experiences for anything. It is essential to have the right tool for the job. One of the most helpful tools for me in my life has been this little guy here. This is my right arm. Now, the technical name for this is a dressing stick, but because I am the super creative genius that I am, I like to call it my stick. Now, as you saw when I came out, I used the stick to drive my wheelchair, and as its name implies, I do use it to dress myself, but I will spare you that demonstration. But it also has so many other uses beyond that. It works great for, I keep one of these in every room in my apartment. It works great for flipping light switches, opening doors, working the water faucets, pulling items off of the shelf in supermarkets, and many, many other tasks. And it does all that, and it even does tricks too. I became totally and completely hooked on doing these events. The feeling that the rush that I had when I finished my swim and came out of the water and watched my partner go take off to do his part on the bike was just one of the best rushes, adrenaline rushes that I've had in my life. And I knew immediately that I needed more of that. And so I've competed in the Pittsburgh Tri every year since then. And I train a lot harder now. Last year, in fact, I finished the swim in just a little over 29 minutes. Finished ahead of more than 150 other able-bodied competitors. But more importantly than that, my team finished 4th out of 18 teams. For me, I'm hooked on the feeling that I get finding out that my body and my soul are capable of so much more than I ever imagined. And for me, that is truly the best rush that life has to offer me. Thank you.